something I just realized is that in the state of California, an audible Jake brake is kind of a dead giveaway that you may not be running a diesel exhaust fluid system on your big rig. So if I were to be slinking around in California, probably wise to keep it on the down low. Let me also say this. If I were in the state of California, the part of California I'm in would definitely not care if I had a loud Jake brake. Trust me on that. If I was in California. Not saying I am, just if I was. Now I'm in California. Check out this fence. Is that not? I've been following this thing for a few miles. This is crazy. I cannot imagine the amount of handwork that went into making this thing. I will say California is one of the most geographically diverse places in the entire United States. You did not know that. Give you a clue where we're at now. This is the Sacramento River. Okay. Got that engine unloaded. See that cab over? You remember that cab over? If you've been a long time subscriber, you'll remember that cab over. I'll tell you a little more about it as we go. Whew, I wish I had a little more daylight. Oh. This is pretty rad. That's all I got. Holy smokes. Dude, that is low riding. Oh my goodness. How much does it lower down from what it was?
I don't have a tape measure, but the fender read 43 inches. And now I don't know what it is. That tire's about 30.
Now it's about 4 inches.
Yeah, that tire's about 30 inches. So
that is so cool. So you dropped like a foot.
yeah, it's pretty close. 8 to 10 inches.
Wow.
It's like a 2 3/4 inch body drop, and then.
So it's more than just the. Typically, when guys do a front end, it's just they're just putting different springs on it. It's just dropping the front end.
Yeah, but because I dropped the body, that's why I got a shorter bumper on it as well.
You had to change that too.
I was running a 18, and thankfully there was a guy there at the shop that had a 16.
Jeez.
That was on a truck. He had a brand new one in the box, so we did a swap.
I would say us Montana boys have a long way to go to be this cool. Well, that little experience kind of got blown up. Sort of literally. I got run into by a guy. Check this out. That's the old ever classic trucks make wide right-hand turns. So when you see a truck with their blinker on turning right, remember they're gonna swing it out wide so their trailer doesn't run through the ditch and run through the corners, you know. They gotta swing her out to the left and then cut her to the right. Kid just wasn't paying attention and decided to pass me on the right and ended up sideswiping the truck. Boy, could have been way, way, way worse, right? Had he been a little slower, he would have smashed into the front passenger corner of my truck. You know, tore the hood off, the bumper, everything. This, thankfully, just that bumper sticking out far enough took the deal there. But that's knock on wood, that's the first accident that I've ever had happen around my truck in any way, shape, or form. But I meant to get into Al's place and I was going to film and talk and do some things, but we were tied up with that little accident deal long enough that by the time we got the truck unloaded and we were hustling, it was dark. And so I'm just going to tell you about what exactly he has planned. You see, Al and I share something unique in that we both have 2020, I believe his is a 20, Peterbilts. And his is getting up there in miles to the point where it's getting to be overhaul time. Still running great, but it's getting to be that x15 golden hour where, you know, you might want to consider overhauling it. What he's decided to do is to buy my x15, and while it's out, does this sound familiar to you? He's going to have it overhauled, out of frame overhauled, even though it's perfectly fine, it's running great, no issues. I'm gonna go ahead and overhaul it. That way it's ready to roll. And then he's gonna wheel his truck in and just do a motor swap, put the freshie in, and take his used motor out and put that into his old cab over Peterbilt, and so that he can have a DPF system and all that on his Peterbilt in California, so he can run that old cab over as he pleases. Al's not afraid of projects and doing things and trying new stuff. And there's a few people in California that have retrofitted these old rigs with the DPFs and a new motor, not just some standalone soot cooker, an actual deaf drinking setup. I know different operators have different opinions on preemptively overhauling your engines, but when you have the opportunity to do it and the timing is right, the cash flow's there, I am your #1 supporter, all right? I'm the first guy that will be like, yes, do that. Pull that transmission out. Swap those rear ends. Do it. Do it, do it. It's not costing you any money. That's my opinion. We've talked about it before, but I'm all for it. So he's taken my engine. He knows it's a good engine. It's good,
in 2
solid.
miles, take the exit onto North Franklin Boulevard.
He knows it's a good, solid foundation to go ahead and rebuild and do. And it'll be fun to see that little project as it comes along. Little side note, for those of you that followed along 3 years ago, I stopped into Al's place when I was hauling apples down to Martinelli's one time and spent a day or two there with the fam. And we did a little tour around and talked some trucking and some business stuff. But anyway, after I unloaded at Al's, I kicked up here. I'm in Boise, Idaho now. Got to throw on some freight here in Boise to take back to Montana. Whew, it's a beautiful morning. Check this out. You ever seen these before? Anybody know what these are? Well, if you can tell from backwards and upside down what these are, you get a gold star next to your name. Little East Idaho morning for you. These are seed totes they use for hauling alfalfa seed from the farms to the plant. They say these have a tendency to slide back when you're hauling them, metal on metal on metal, right? And they're fairly light. I mean, there's not much to them because they're empty. These are the big metal bins. That's a stack of lids that go on them. They'll get distributed to all the different producers. They'll make their alfalfa seed, fill the bins, their allotted bins. Then they'll get picked up late in the year and hauled back to Boise. Check out what I did here. Ran a chain around the back. They got nice angle iron around the tops of these bins where the lids go on. So I ran a chain around, gave her the bing bang boom, gave her the bing bang double boom. Strap was just a hair short, so I strapped the strap onto the slack from the boomer. Huh? That's a pretty good idea. But anyway, that has kept everything slid forward and held together really beautifully. I like that. Pre-trip is completing successful. Everything's looking well. I had a wheel seal that was leaking on my truck, a front steer axle wheel seal. It was just seeping a little. Cleaned it up the other day. Put some Lucas hub oil in it, and it has completely quit leaking. But we'll still take a look at it when we get home, just because wheel seals, remember this, wheel seals can be, not always, but wheel seals can be just a symptom of a problem. So say my bearing's getting weird or something in there, getting a little loose, the wheel seal going out would be the first symptom of the sickness that would be the actual bearing going bad, right? Probably not the case. Most likely everything's fine, just the seal decided to go. But we'll take a peek. We'll check it out anyway. Okay, next up on the list, we're headed to Bozeman to do auction school. So that means I gotta drop this trailer off at a buddy's place and spend the next couple days at the auction school. Let's get out of here.